Hello student, today we will discuss about the error handling in JavaScript. Have you ever think that many of the time when we run our program, we never get the output. You know, means there are some problem in our code, but we never identify the type of the error occurred in our program. So in today lecture, we will discuss what is error in JavaScript and how we can handle the error with the help of the code, right? So to proceed the error handling in JavaScript, we need to work on, or you can say understand the type of the error in the JavaScript. Basically there are three type of error in JavaScript. One is your syntax error. Syntax error is not the special one for you. Actually many of the programming language, when you use the different way to define the variable that is not the part of your compiler, so in that case you will get the error. Means if I'm talking about the JavaScript, when for example if you're creating a function using the function keyword, right, and you are not using the way right way to define the function. For example, you need to open and close the parenthesis when you create the object. Means this is the simply syntax error. Means you are not following the rule of the JavaScript programming. So that is the syntax error. When you run this program, you will never get the output of this program because this definition of this function is not completed, right? Means it is not the complete part of the function. So that this is the syntax error in JavaScript, right? Next come to the runtime error. Syntax error is okay, right? Syntax error when you're, I mean, it is visible to you, right? What is happening? There's a runtime error when your your syntax part of the programming is okay, right? For example, if again I am using a function, giving the name, using the parenthesis, giving the body, right, and give the definition. I'm just putting dot print line, right, just display some message, hello. So this is the right way, this is the correct way to define a function in JavaScript, right? When I call this function, I am using fun1, right? When this program is loaded into the memory, a fun function is loaded and will be available on the stack memory, right? But you are calling the fun1 that is not available on the stack. There is no entry of the fun1 function on the stack. So in that case, your program is successfully loaded into the memory. But when we're talking about the execution of program, at the execution time your program will not give any type of output because of the naming problem. It is looking for different type of function, but there is uh, on a stack there is a different function is available. So this is your runtime error. Again, you will not ever understand the type of problem you are facing in the program. Next come to the logical error. Means in that case your syntax error is okay and your runtime error. Runtime means you are calling the same function as you defined. So this type of problem you are not facing. But in logical error you are correctly both that syntax error and the runtime error. But sometimes what happened, you are calling the right function, you are doing everything is right, but sometimes in your logic something was missing in your logic, or you use the means, when you implement some logic, you just skip out some point. You never think about the condition, and using the infinite loop, you just call the you just call a function inside a function itself inside a function. So in that case, you are using your logic in a wrong way. Means, when you implement it, you just run your program, you just getting the unexpected error, you know like stack overflow error. You never expect it, your program will behave like this. You just go getting the null pointer problem. What it means, null pointer problem is what? When you're giving some input, right, and you manipulate on that input, but at runtime, whatever you input at is not available at runtime. Means, at runtime, the user getting the null. So when you manipulate on the null, that is the logical problem you are facing at runtime. So these are some problem actually. Null pointer problem, right? Overflow problem. So these are some problem actually. Arithmetic problem. When you divide any number by zero, so these are the arithmetic problem. Divide by zero. So these are the logical problem you faced at runtime, right? And that is not understandable. That is not predefined actually. It is occurred when you implement your logic, right? How to overcome this type of problem in JavaScript, right? There are some keyword available actually to handle this type of error in JavaScript. One is your try block. This is the try keyword, and you can say this is the try block. What is try block actually? Now when you think that you want to handle the error problem if occurred at runtime, right? It may be logically or syntactically, which type of error you are looking, or you just want to handle all type of error in your program. You need to protect your program from this type of unexpected result, right? If you don't follow the exception handling or error handling in JavaScript, you face many of the problem during the runtime. And in not in very simple or small programs, but when you implement some project, at that time you are you never understand which type of line creating the problem in your project, because in a small program you have limited number of line of code, right? So it is identify manually, it is okay in small code. But when you are writing a large scale problem, right, you're working on a large scale problem that have, right, hundred of coding lines. So in that case, you're very hectic, very hard to identify the error line. In that case, our error handling work for us and give a smooth way to handle the problem, right? So there is a try block actually. In try block, you need to write your logic. Write your logic in this part. Try your code, right? Write your logic. Implementation, right? Right. And when some problem occurred in this try block, there is a handling block in JavaScript. That is the catch block. This is your handling block, error handling. This is error handling block, right? So how can you use these try and catch block? Simply you can use the try, give the body of the try. After that you need to use the catch block and give the body of the catch block, right? Passes the reference, means a variable you need to pass it. Actually this E define which type of problem occurred in your program. Okay, this is the way to use the try and catch block. There is another block you will use or you can use, that is the finally block. Finally block is the type of block in which your this block will execute either a problem in your code or your program is okay. It is always execute, right? Let's take a small example of try and catch block, right? Okay, this is my HTML code, right? In the head part, right? This is the head part. Actually I'm using this script tag, very small example we are working on. I am creating a fun function in this. Always I am using the fun function. Many of the example I'm right. I'm using the try and this is the catch block. Try and catch block. I'm using the passing the E, a variable. This is the structure of how you can use the try and catch block in the functions to handle the error. Let do something. I just taking a var, giving the obj, right, and pass this null to it, right? And I just want to using the alert box, try to work on this. Take a message I want to put. If problem occur, then it will goes to the. Actually, I want to discuss over there message. Message actually is an attribute on which we can get the message we passed in the object. I will dis discuss it in the next few line. After next few line, right? Right. If the problem occurred, then we just use the error over there and pass to the which type of error is occurring in this program. It will shown by this. Let call this program, right, and try to run it program. So when you run this program, you will get the error, right? This is my message error, and this is the generated by the interpreter when it is occurred. Means at runtime there's a problem occurred, that is the logically implemented when we create the variable and want to get the message from this variable, but that variable was null and nothing was there inside it. So in that case we will get the null reference. This is the null reference. Okay, so this is the simply execution of the error handling. But you know if I am not use if I am not use the try and catch block, right, in our program and using the same code, I will never get any type of message like this. So I could not understand what type of problem occurred in my program. So with the help of the error handling I can do many of the things, right? Now come to the finally block we are talking about. Finally is a block that is execute always execute. It is always execute actually. You can write the alert message for this. Either there is no either is a problem or not any problem, it always execute. It executes always, right? Now come to check the output. Error message, and it execute always. Finally block will always execute, right? This is the case when I getting some error. For example, if I'm not getting the error, for example, if I created the okay, okay, let's discuss something later. I will do it. Now come to again this part. Actually, these are some way keywords where with the help of these keywords we can handle the error in our JavaScript program. But there are many of the inbuilt object, or you can say constructors, available in JavaScript library. On the behalf of that, you can do many of the things, right? One is your error object. You can create the error object and that will work for you, right? If there is syntax error in your program, you can do with the help of the syntax error reference. If there are any reference problem, like just we use the example in our program, so that is the reference problem, null reference. So in that case you can specifically use the reference error. There's a type error, sometimes you're doing the typecasting. In that case, if something if something went wrong, then typed error will be occur, right? So let's take an example of error, how you can use the standard constructors, that is inbuilt classes available for you in your program. Okay, okay, now I'm using the error class. Create the object of this class, right? Passing the message, uh, error class constructor, right? This object we taking the reference in obj, right? So in this case, if you use obj dot message, this is the attribute of this, and you can again use the alert box, and you can also use the, I think, type. No, there's no type. There is uh, another attribute actually, name. Okay, so in this you can use the name, so you can identify the name and message you passed in the error constructor. Constructor is not new for you, we have discussed in the class about the constructor. Every when we initialize the instance variable, right, we will always use the constructor, and when we create the object we are using the constructor. So this is the constructor we are working on. So in this we are using the new error class, create the object, that this is the inbuilt class actually. This is inbuilt class to handle the error. So we just getting the information from this object. We just want to the message and the name of this object, means which this obj belong to which class actually we are talking about, right? Go to the output. error class constructor. This is the message from the constructor. This is belong to error class. This is the name of the class, and this is my finally block. Means finally block executes always. So this is a small way to use the exception handling in your JavaScript programming, right? Later I can take another one or two example, right? And actually another many of the things is available in error handling, but it is not covered so much in your course curriculum. So later maybe take another one or two example to understand it more, right? Okay, let's I remember one thing I want to use. If you want to throw some error implicitly, not implicitly, explicitly you want to generate some message, right? Error you want to generate. So there is a throw keyword actually. Throw keyword basically used to generate the error. If you want to generate some error, if any condition is not met according to your logic, that in that case you can use the throw keyword to generate the error. Let's take an example on it. Okay, I'm using a variable a and giving it to the 12 value, right? I'm using the condition if a equals to 10, or okay, just do it if a is greater than 10, then throw the error number is greater than 10, right? And you know, when it is generate, you throw it will be the part of this variable, right? So you will get the error as number is greater than 10. Let's see it in output. So you're just getting the error because you're throwing the error explicitly. Number is greater than 10, and always it executes always, either you are getting the error or not. So this is the way to use the throw. Throw means you just throwing the error, and when you throw it, it is handled by your catch block, right? And catch block, whenever you are whatever you are doing, whatever you are throw it, it is catched by this variable and it is stored in this variable, and with the help of this variable you just print the value, right? So this is the handling part actually. This is the handling what you are throwing, it is handled by this catch block, right? This is a try, you are trying your code into this block. Okay, this is the introduction of the JavaScript, how you can, this is the introduction of the error handling, how you can use the error handling in JavaScript. In next class, I will start CSS or giving some example on error handling also. Okay, thank you very much.